Yes, a fair bit can be going on, mate.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
And he's a tough kid, so he looks like he's in a bit of discomfort here,
Yeah.
Kieran. So hopefully he gets up and kick him. I reckon he's pretty winded there too, mate.
Yeah, I reckon he might be winded. He's a tough cookie, Kieran. They do need him out there as well. He brings a lot to the team.
They've been really good additions, the Crow family, to the NT Rugby League, mate.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Let's
go, Crow.
Pushing 3 years into the job now, and General Manager Tony Crow's made a really big difference. We're messaging our brand. We're a lot more audience-centred and building that audience and participation, and we've done a great job. We're 11 metres out now with South. Francis now, double dummy. Steve Carterish, that. So they tackled out here on the left edge. Winger in the dummy half. 9 out. Right foot step, straightens it up off the left. And is he going to get through? No, he's just held out. I think that's the last tackle. So they're 1 metre out. Nightcliff on their line. South's looking to go a little bit wide. No, it's a cross-field kick. What do we got? Any contenders? No, and it's a catch, a great catch in goal. And could be a penalty for a tackle in the air. No, a 20-metre restart maybe.
He's done well, the young fella there, and he's going to serve it straight back to him.
Good try and carry there.
Looks like Crow's recovered well. He's up and about, so
he
that's
has,
good.
yeah. Might have been bunging it on maybe. Might not have even been injured, just ego hurt. No, he's okay. A bit of wind knocked out,
through the middle. Look at that.
Strong carry from the forwards. I knew he's down again, Kieran, so I reckon he might have a serious injury there that he's trying to battle on. Geez, that could have been forward then. South really need to tighten up a little bit and start pushing up, taking some space. Their Dragons have got some joy on that left edge. If they go to that left, they've got some numbers to work with, and they do. Adrian Corrie now, all he needs to do is straighten up, and then a long ball. I think the idea wasn't a bad one, but I think the execution might not have been great. So we'll see stoppage in time while they check Kieran. I think he might be really hurt there.
Seeing a lot of carry upfield from Dragons forwards, that making a lot of ground and then letting their backs finish it off. Unlucky on that one, but I think all of their tries have been from their wingers or their centres. Yeah,
well, you're right. It looks like they're having to go around them rather than through them. But, there's some sloppy efforts in the South defensive line. A little bit inconsistencies with their spacing and numbering and pushing up. I think it's time to play a little bit more eyes up and count heads and get the communication going a little bit more effectively. So he might need some time here, Kieran. He's got the level 2 sports trainer out there, so that's a little bit more serious. I think it could it be rib cartilage?
Could be a number of things, mate. Yeah, he sort of looked as if he'd recovered there for a bit, but I think some bit of contact through the middle there. Something's obviously not right. Have to get him off and have a look.
Yeah, he looks a bit angry there too, Kieran. We're punching the ground. He's frustrated that he can't stay out in the field and support his teammates. A loyal team member. He would hate this. He wants to go back into the lineup, but no, the sports trainer stops him from going back. He definitely needs to get checked over, I think, though, for his health's sake.
Yeah, just hope there's no HIA involved there, mate.
Yeah, well, he's okay. I think it's a good dummy half run. That's a great dummy half run. Makes about 15 metres. They're 25 metres out now south. They go to the left edge. Another scoot from dummy half. They've been pretty good. There's some of their scooters, their wingers. Savannah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely seeing, opposite to Dragons, a lot of carry through their backs, and they've made a fair bit of ground. They haven't done too bad with it, and just catching Dragons on the back foot with those dummy half scoots.
Yeah, I think they're playing a lot more direct. I don't think they're throwing the ball in as much, and that's a great end to a set. That's a really good kick. They need a good push now. They're a bit staggered, this defensive line. We've got a couple of players at the back here from South, and we'll see a decent run from Stelianos, sorry. Crowley with the ball now. Little jink.
Crowley's been busy today.
He has been busy. Yeah, he's playing fullback now, so he's got to rip in and get more involved. We'll see a penalty now. What are we seeing a penalty for? Holding down, maybe? Yep, holding down.
So Butcher will attempt to get him, march him off the field a bit, and away they go.
Good kick from Butcher, makes about 25 metres. We've got no ball boys today, so we're having to wait for the ball to come back.
Robbie Butcher and Brenton Motlop seem to be controlling their team quite well, and they look quite calm out there, and they're moving the ball quite well. What are your thoughts on that, Dunk?
Yeah, I agree. I would probably do his thing. He's definitely a dominant half. He likes to take control, like every good half should. Absolutely. But we've got an injury here for South as well. 17 down. Possibly a head injury.
You got trainers from both sides, so it's obviously a bit of a concern there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Doesn't look like it's a limb injury. Cal, what would you suggest that might be, that injury? Without even seeing what happened and looking at him sitting up, what would you say might be wrong with him?
Well, mate, I left me crystal ball at home today, but no, I'd be nearing on where you'd probably more of a head injury, some sort of collision type injury like that. But again, mate, I'm going off nothing, so
Just pure guess.
Pure guess, and just ignore that. Everyone playing at home.
Well, he walked off without a limp, so he looks like he's okay. Hopefully everything's all right. Tabua now takes a tap and run. He might score here. And he does, easy, and that's going to be an issue for South. So I think the one-on-ones are really letting them down.
First game back for the year, Tabsy, and from what I believe he's taken on with Brenton Motlop, they've taken on the captaincy and the leadership at Nightcliff there. So, yeah, Tabsy, I'm sure he'll be in for a big year. As you said before, Duncan, very dangerous, very good footballer, has played recently through the Australian Defence Force system. And,
Yeah, he has. He's played representative honours in the military. Unfortunately, every year we lose him for deployment for a month or two here and there, but hopefully we get a little bit more out of him this year because he's great to watch. Some pretty ordinary defence there. Looking at the replay from South, just a really, really simple one-on-one. He didn't even look like passing it, and defenders were dropping off, so hopefully they can correct that when they go in at half time and have a chat with them, which is about, still 18 minutes away. Crowley now taking the kick. Dragons 20, South 6 with kick to come. And he's got it again, Crowley. Great kicking game today. That's, 2 from 3, and I think, or 3 from 4, and two of them in from the sideline, 3 from the sideline.
He's coming off a very good union season, very successful season with the Casuarina Cougars. Yes, I think he seems to really try to apply his trade at both sports, and seemingly does very well. Never lacks any enthusiasm, old Trey. He does, he's always turning up.
He works for Clontarf at the moment, but he's also got a Cert 3 in strength and conditioning, and he's also an accredited electrician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for the world's his oyster. A short kick off for South. Can they contest? No. So the Dragons catch it. A great catch. Tabs at dummy half. They get a scoot. No. Butcher one off. Little left foot jink. Drags a couple. Finds his front. we've seen some lazy defenders here in South. There's just no push. I think there might be a fitness issue here for some of these blokes. Anyway, they've got some numbers in. They wrap the ball up. A little bit of push and shove. Could get ugly here. No. Oh, there's a penalty there. Hopefully it doesn't go any further. Inlet there. Tabs in there, being the grown-up one and showing some leadership, breaking that up. So Dragons with a penalty on the halfway. He can make some metres, Butcher, when he kicks it out. Another 30 metres he's made on top of that. Tab's in the same position he was when he scored last time. No, he gets a pass away this time. And a drop ball. Or did he drop it over the line? I think it's a try.
I think it's a try, yeah, by the look of it.
It looked to me like he might have dropped that before the line, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see a replay. Hopefully we'll get a replay.
Done very well there, Shawnee Warho.
Some very, very average defence. Here we go. Simple to sloppy tackle. I think he hits the... No, that's a try. He's gone over and dunked that down. That's a fair try. Frustrating for South. That would be frustrating. I'm glad they couldn't see that replay because them two blokes would probably get kick in the arse, I think. What do you reckon, Ivana?
Yeah, just lacking discipline there, I think. Like you said, not counting heads and all that sort of jazz. So hopefully we see them pick up on it a bit. Hopefully Richie just gives them a bit of a spray half time. But yeah, it all comes down to discipline, really.
Yeah, they'll be lacking a bit of leadership out there with Crow off the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as Ivana touched on, defence is it's more of an attitude thing, isn't it? So we need to, definitely that discipline and that attitude need to pick up, and hopefully they can turn it around quickly. Got a number of good performers out there, so hopefully they can all just sort of pick it up and make a bit of a game out of it.
Yeah, you're right there, Cal, about defence being an attitude. It's definitely an attitude. If you're not prepared to put your body in front and take one basically for the team, then you're going to struggle. But that was really simple footy. Just made an interchange here. Francis to kick off. That might go for a long one. I think they need a long one. Adrian Corrie under it. There's a better shot. Some numbers in. Take him back almost 10 metres. And that's the Devore defence they need. But we see South and their defensive line slowly coming together when they should be showing a little bit more energy to try and push up.
Just noticed big Brenton Robertson, number 20, come on for South. I'm sure he's going to add a lot of punch through the middle. Very damaging player.
We've got a forward pass here from Butcher. A tip on and the forward pass. So a little bit sloppy there from Dragons, giving South an opportunity to sneak back in, get some points on the board before half time. I think the best thing South can do is to not lose the ball and not have to tackle. And I think they'll be okay. Ivana?
Yeah, hoping for a quick try for them just to lift their spirits. Looks good. Maybe give it off. Maybe carry it. Let's see. Hopefully they get a try here. What is this? Yeah, only the first tackle, so still a lot to go.
Tackle one. Front row around, number 8.
Here goes Big Brenton.
And he's over.
That was that crystal ball moment, mate.
There you go. South over again. It brings them up to 10. And I think Nightcliff are in the same boat, to be honest. I think both teams, if they're not going to hold the ball, then they're going to struggle, because I think defensively both are having the same issues. We see the replay now. Hooker jumps out, a little tip onto the 20. 20 targets Corrie, pushes Corrie off and then finds his way over. So it needs to be, that initial contact probably needs to be the one that's got to stick and make the impact. And I think that's the problem with both teams, is that initial first hit up contact is just not effective.
Call the interchange players impact players, and that's exactly what number 20 was there. Cal, does Dragons have any impact players that we might see come on?
I think one's already on there, in big Shawnee Warho. I think they're without one of the guys, Dane Smith. I don't see him on the team sheet. I thought he was one of their, he'd be one of their more notable impact players through the middle. He usually comes in at sort of hooker or at lock. But yeah, look, big George Franjulis has been pretty busy early. The halfback, AD Corrie, I think once he can sort of get a bit of footy in his hands, he's very damaging through there as well. But yeah, as you've alluded to, there's a few other guys in there that I haven't really seen before. They're new to the team. Possibly big Willie Merritt coming off the bench. But I think both teams just really have to try to consolidate it, get those completion of the sets, and I think we'll have a lot more clean game of footy, and we could probably see a lot more of a tight contest here.
Conversion successful there for South. That brings them 28-12. I think they can continue to claw themselves back into this game, but the less defending they do, the better, I would say. And I think they'll almost go for both teams. I think Nightcliff got a little bit of an edge in their defence. They go for a short kick-off here. They might get it back. I think easily they get it back. I think that's going to be one to watch. I think they'll be doing that a fair bit. Robbie's got a really good short kick-off through his rugby union experience. And so they're 20 metres out. Harley Byers come all the way from Catherine to play today. He's a dummy half. Straightens up. Midfield. 20 metres out. Byers a dummy half again. Looks for Butcher. Butcher might go out the back to Crowley. Crowley's got a support runner. And it's just knocked down, but it will be 6 again. So it's play on there for the Dragon. 6 again. David a dummy half. Looks to Butcher. Butcher left foot jink. He loves a jink. He's pulled down, 5 metres out. Buys a dummy half. Will he go himself? He does, and he scores. And a really, really simple try there from dummy half. It's a defensive game, this one. Whoever defends will continue to put points on the board. And I think when we get in the second half, I think once the fatigue starts to settle in, it'll become a real challenge for both teams. We see the replay here. It's a quick play of the ball. Butcher's on his front. Byers playing eyes up, looks to his right. And it's just that second defender up top, probably not stable enough, not balanced enough to wrap that ball up.
Heavy contact for the young kid, but he still held on to it and went over. Yeah, there's no denying there's a lot of attacking flair from both sides, but as you say, the defence will really prove the difference here.
Crowley now, he's about 12 metres in, 18 metres out. He kicked very well. I think he's they scored about 4 or 5 tries, and I think he's kicked all but one maybe. As you said, Kev, another Union player with an experienced kicker.
I think from memory he was the leading goal kicker for the Union comp last year. Took out quite a bit of silverware on awards night, old Trey, sorry.
And he's successful with that one, straight over the black dot. And we look at the DABSCO scoreboard. It has South 12 and Dragons 34 in the DABSCO Men's Premiership Round 2. South now gingerly working their way up to halfway. There's 6.5 minutes to go in the half. Will they look for a short kick or they want to get long? There you go, they're going for the sideline. Could get lucky here. No. Tabs with the ball. They don't want him to have the ball too much. So he's about 38 out. Butcher with the ball now. Another tip on to Crowley. Crowley straightens it up. Left foot step. Big shot. Big shot from South there. Byers out the back. Butcher with the ball. He's busy tonight, Butcher. Long ball out to the left edge. They could have some joy here. Winger's turned.
He's got some pace on him.
He does. I think they're going to struggle to pull him down. No, is he going out? No, I think he's got in. I think he's okay. It was a fair collision between those two. That's two pretty big bodies, but that's a decent set there from the Dragons. Butcher looking at those long balls. A lot of their tries are at the edges, aren't they? And a lot of them have come off long passes from Butcher.
Our first try on the left-hand side for Dragons. Love to see a few more out there, especially with that type of speed. Be interesting going into the second half to see if they utilise that side a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
That was good initial contact by the fullback there, but as you say, didn't really stick.
See Latham Shirley coming back on now.
Last week's game, I think it was Raiders 20, Dragons 10. How was that game, Cal?
Oh, look, it seemed like a real... I think both sides were sort of blowing out cobwebs. I think from what I saw, the Raiders just capitalised a lot more, played a bit more football. Yeah, very deserving winners on the night.
Crowley from the sideline again. He's unsuccessful with that one. I think he prefers kicking from the right edge sideline rather than the left. Maybe. Yeah.
So there'll be a game going on at the moment between Palmerston Raiders and Northern Sharks out at Palmerston.
Yeah. Do we know what the score is on that?
No. And followed later by Brothers versus Litchfield Bears.
Yeah, that's
two great coaches, Leon Cleal and Reg Rose, going head to head.
Head to head, yeah. Two ordinary looking heads as well. We see Dragons with the ball. They've gone for the short kick-off again. I don't know if the short kick-off's a great idea for South, to be honest. I think the further they put it down, the more field they got behind them. But anyway, solid tackle there. Fighting to get up, and he's lost it. And he's just called a knock on there. So Souths are going to get the ball. The history has shown that Souths are okay at scoring tries from this part of the field. They are able to lay a foundation for a decent set with some go forward, and they do have some strike weapons out there, but it's just keeping possession. That's their challenge. We've got a score update there, Ivana.
Yeah, 0-0 at the moment, Dunk.
How far into it does it say?
Not too sure on that one. Doesn't mention that, but...
Oh, and we go through here. The fullback now for South. He's pushed up a couple. He's pulled down. He's 11 metres out.
It's Kane Gamini.
Gamini or Gimini? I think the 19's going to get over here.
Yes.
A big body like that, he's hard to stop, and the right edge. And as I said, history has shown that the Rabbits are pretty effective in this part of the field.
Seeing some carry through their forwards now, Dunk finishing them off, like I said, opposite to the Dragons, where their backs are their finishers, but these boys are finishing with their forwards.
There was big Ratu going over.
Another target there at Adrian Corrie. I know Adrian in the past has had a bad shoulder, and that's the second time he's been targeted, and the front row's got over the top and scored. So that might be something going into half time to have a think about. That he's your, as the Melbourne Storm called, head on a plate, where they isolate you and try to make you their spot. So they can attack. This is the thing about South. They've proven that they can attack. They just need to polish up the defence a bit. And I think the polishing up the defence is just sorting out their one-on-ones at the moment, and then forcing the Dragons to try and go around them, which, to be honest, Dragons have been going around them through the long balls from Butcher, so there needs to be some talk on the edges. Also,
off the back of that turnover on the second tackle there, mate, that was a lot of that happening for the Dragons last week, which would have been a real coach killer.
Yeah. So, unsuccessful kick. South 16, Dragons now 38, and we've got a minute to go, a bit over a minute to go.
Beautiful night out there for football, Dunk.
It is, Cal. Sun's going down. We see a beautiful sunset behind us.
It's almost romantic, mate.
Almost romantic. It's not quite romantic here at footy with you sitting next to me, but we're getting there.
What do we reckon? Long kickoff or a short one here?
Oh, I think it's definitely going to be a short one.
We're short to the, yeah.
Short for a try to end the first half?
Yep, there it is. Shortish, probably not short enough. South have got it now. Lathan drops off. Tabs wraps him up. South now working in the middle. Another good scoot. The scoots have been okay for them at the moment, but Tabsy's... no, that's not Tabsy, sorry. A strong carry.
Got 2 number 4s out there,
Two
Dragons
number
do.
4s. That's a first. Oh,
Big contact by Adrian Corrie.
Well, I'm not sure if they targeted Adrian Corrie that time again, but he certainly proved that he shouldn't be a target. Not for a smaller player anyway. That was a pretty big shot, I think.
I thought the ref's taken a bit of an exception to that hit.
Yeah, well, I think we're looking more at a shoulder charge there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we'll get a replay here, but definitely a shoulder charge. I'm not sure that could be 10 in the bin. I think they're just going to stop and compose themselves and just everyone make sure he's okay. That was a pretty big shot. And here's our replay. But this is the one where Adrian gets run over the top of. It's not the replay he was hoping to see. No, that's not the replay we wanted to see.
Yeah, some heavy frontal contact by Corrie there, and a bit of concern there for the South lad. Not sure what number he was.
Like you said, Cal, defence is an attitude, and I think Corrie really muscled up then and showed a bit of attitude. He's probably let himself down a couple of those one-on-ones, but he certainly showed that he can tackle, and you might see a boost in his confidence in the next half. Ivana?
Yeah. Well, coming off 2 tries scored against you, I think you'd have a bit of fire in your belly. Hopefully that Souths player is okay and can get up on his feet. But yeah, that's a crazy way to finish the first half. Excited for half 2.
It's gone on report, and he's been given 10 minutes. It was an intentional shoulder charge, and he's been given 10 minutes, so that 10 will start in the second half. So it's 38-16 going into half-time. So they'll probably get a penalty here. I dare say they'll take the kick and maybe have one shot at him. I don't see why they shouldn't. But I think this is Adrian's first game for the year. I think he missed last week after playing a full season of AFL. Like many of these players, they play a full season of AFL. Vana, did you play a full season of AFL? No, you did, didn't you?
Yes, I did my ACL. Thanks for reminding me, Dunk. So it got major FOMO, but I'll just stay up here in the commentary box and let them guys get the grass on their knees and whatnot, and the grass burn on their knees, should I say.
He's looking a bit worse for wear here. Is that Francis? It's not. He's looking very groggy. I hope he's okay.
You can only wish for the best with those sort of things, mate.
Absolutely. We've got a score update from the game out there at Goodline Park. Raiders 6, Sharks 4.
As we see South bring on Aidan Hill, number 14, replacement.
We haven't seen Kieran Crowe come back, so he must have quite a serious injury for him to not come back on. Anyway, here they go. And South's about to turn it around. As they have shown, they can score points from this far out, but they've only got one play to try and score. No ball, boys, so they're waiting for someone to walk over and grab the ball and throw it back in.
It's their last roll of the dice of the half.
Yeah. It's their last shot before half-time. Midfield kick from the big front rower. Are they going to contest it? They do. It's gone back. Riddle's got it. Riddle puts another bomb. There's 2 bombs in the set, but that one's gone over the dead ball line, and that will take us to the break. And the DABSCO scoreboard sees Dragons 38, South 16.
can have a chair if you want.
And here we are, Cal. We're back for the second half. Dragons v South, round 2, DABSCO Men's Premiership, our A-grade competition. It's a high-scoring game at the moment. We see the Dragons running away with it, 38 points to 16. Rabbits still showing some little glimpses there of hope, but defensively, heavily challenged.
Yeah, that's right. So Butcher will get things underway here soon. And yeah, as you say, South will be looking to really try to tighten things up through the middle and out wide, defensive.
Not happy with the ball selection there, Butcher. Decided to go with another ball. Might have had some stitching come loose. And here we go. Butcher starts us off. A short kick, yes. And see, he knocks it back. Instead of trying to catch it, he knocks it back, which is interesting. Yeah. But anyway, Souths have possession. They're 25 metres out. Another, well, could be a shepherd there. He's pretty much a run behind every player in his team. No, but he gets away with that. We just see a penalty. Penalty to South. That was an interesting one.
Might have been for the grabbing around the neck, mate.
I didn't see grabbing around the neck. I was too busy talking about the Shepherds.
And it's a good result for South.
It is, yeah.
They lost a couple of metres there, so now they're back on the front foot.
Look, in all honesty, we want to see South make a game of it and stay in the mix. And they're 40 metres out. They're working to the middle of the field. And it's a bust straight through the middle, the 12. I think he's just signed with the Rabbits today, actually. They came in the office and signed him up. Viliami Vuki. I think he's come from New South Wales, played a bit of NRL lower grades. So they're 35 metres out south. They look to the left edge. The fullback takes him on, left foot stepper. He's pretty dangerous, the fullback. Kenai Gimini. They're working back to the middle now. Off from the 6, hits the 16. They go again, the 20. He's been pretty good, the 20. He scored a couple of tries. I think he's pretty dangerous when he gets close to that line. They might look to this right edge. They got a few numbers here. A long ball to the winger. No, they go to the left. A short kick off the post, and he's over. A great start for the Bunnies. They've scored within the first 2 minutes of the second half, and they scored within the first minute of the first half. They're pretty good starters, Varna.
Yeah, lucky kick. Lucky kick there. Sorry, Dunk didn't have my mic on. Yeah, very lucky kick there. I personally wouldn't have chosen to do that, but it looks like what he did paid off. So hopefully we see a few more tries like this or similar. That would definitely lighten their spirits coming into the second half. Maybe it was the talk that Hilly gave to them. What do you reckon, Dunk?
Yeah, well, I think they definitely needed a talking to. Do you know what sort of talking to they would have got? What do you think Hilly would have said to them going in there at the half time?
Probably play like these sisters.
Like their own sisters or the rugby league team sisters? Because I think they might have been playing like their sisters in their first half at times. But they've come good now, and it's a great start to the second half. And Riddle puts it over.
Denzel.
And he brings it to Dragons 38 now and Souths 22. I'll give a big shout out to our Armenian audience there listening in Melbourne. We do have a strong Armenian audience there in Melbourne, tied up with the NRLT previously. The old Merv McCallion and his boys, Jackson and Brock, they're listening. They're big fans of the NRLNT. And goat herding as well. So here we are, Nightcliff to kick off. South dragging themselves back into the game, taking advantage of a penalty and a really good set. They do have a good set in them. I've been a big fan of some of their sets, but they're getting challenged defensively, but unfortunately they've let that one go out. Nightcliff will get the ball back, and that'll be a play the ball.
It's clever there by Butcher.
So it should be, actually I think it's a scrum when the ball goes out from a kick-off. I think it's actually the time that it is a scrum that's going to the new rules. Generally, in general play, if the ball goes up the sideline, it's a turnover. But from a kick-off, it's a scrum. So Dragons get the ball, a great kick from Butcher there, finds the sideline. So they're in a little bit of strife here. So if they can get some bodies in front, watch out for those long balls, talk on those edges. Byers now, good run out the back. Butcher turns to 12 under. They're almost midfield, 15 metres out, I think. Oh, solid contact. He's 15 metres out now, the Dragons. They're looking like coming to the left. No, they go to the right. Butcher calls it. Goes for Crowley. And a right foot step there and a try. He's pretty lethal from that far out. He's shown a little bit of more above average speed and strength. Gimini. That's a pretty good try. Hopefully we'll see a replay. And here we see a right foot step, brushes off one falls over, and then a left hand put down, just tackling in vain, putting in every effort to try and stop him, but he's a strong contender.
Great response from the Dragons. Hopefully Trey Crowley can get this conversion to widen the scoreline margin.
So he's out wide again, Crowley. He hasn't had too many in the middle. He got a fair preparation for his kick as well, doesn't he? He's got like a nice little routine there. He takes a couple of steps back and he bends, and then he takes 2 to the left. Recomposes. I think I once learnt that with a kicking action and a routine, if you don't keep the same routine every time you kick, then you find inconsistencies in your conversion and your success rate.
Yeah, I'd imagine that'd be the case, mate.
Yep.
Very routine based. I think, yeah, you wouldn't really want something to upset what's sort of been working for you.
Do you think it's a routine or do you think it's a superstition?
That's a good question. I would say they go hand in hand. That if you had a routine, it would be your vice that you had to do before your kick, and if you didn't do it, then obviously you were going to miss, which would throw off your mindset. But we see a short kick off here from South again, and I think it's gone back. So they've got it back here, South. They can score from here. They have shown that. We've got a rake here. There was 2 in the tackle. Byers there, come all the way from Catherine, trying to steal the ball. So we'll see South. We've got a penalty here. Are we seeing a penalty or a knock-on?
Yeah, looks like a 2-on-1, mate.
Well, I thought it was a 2-on-1, but I think it's going to be a scrum, and I think it's going to call a knock-on from Dragons.
Yeah.
But I actually think there was 2 in the tackle then when you pulled that out, so I would say that should be a penalty. But that's just my decision.
Proved to be a good option there by young Denzel Morris to go with the short one. Now South on the front foot, about 25 out.
The fullback again. He is a handful. They go to the right edge, looking down the short side. He tries to flick it back in. Does he get a foot on the sideline? And he's out. Such a waste of play. I think that was tackle 2 then. They're just trying to overplay a little bit. You know, when they're going forward and they're playing direct, they're way more effective. It's when they start trying to play outside the box and throw the ball around. That's when they play chance footy, and it's just not working for them. And they cannot afford to get themselves defending too much, I think. Anyway, here they are again. That's a really good line movement and a good push. Prove me wrong for that one there. So good numbers in the contact. They'll slowly play the ball down.
They'll be looking for a good defensive set here to try to keep Dragons pinned down that end.
Absolutely. If they can keep this here going, what they're doing now with this push, I dare say they can force them to get to the end of their set, not making too many metres. He's a bit groggy getting up the big fella. That was a really good shot. And Butcher now looking for a right foot step. He's pulled up. Another good tackle from South. This is a really good defensive set from South, so this can lay the foundation for the rest of the game if they can keep this up. But there's it's a bit messy in the ruck there, and we see Byers getting out of dummy half. There was 3 players all tied up in that ruck. It was actually a slow play the ball down, so there needed to be the urgency to get the marker. Butcher now with a composed kick to the right edge. Is that out on the full?
Yeah.
It is out on the full.
Great work by Byers in that Dragons side at hooker. Very eyes-up football player. Love to watch him progress as the season goes on. What do you reckon, Cal?
Oh, yeah. Spot on there, Ivana. Yeah, he's definitely sort of a very willing fella getting out, getting him on the front foot. And as you mentioned, the eyes up in a competition, this sort of competition, second half, fatigue setting in, I think eyes up footy can really be a winner. And he doesn't lack a turn of pace either.
South with the ball now, 30 metres out. Denzel Morris on the right edge here. I think he's in the halves now. I think he wants the ball. Straightens it up. They got some big fellas here that make some good metres. A bit of a slower play the ball. Boot comes off. They go to the left. They go again. They could go again. No. Butcher pulls him down. That's a strong tackle, but a decent play the ball. So they look to come back to the middle. Strong carry back to the middle. They could get some numbers on the left edge if they get themselves organised, but they haven't. They're going to go to the right. So they go for a kick. It's gone back off South. It's gone back again. Another little kick from Denzel. No, but Dragons have it. And they need another one of those defensive sets just like the last, with some good push and some aggressive contact. They did a very good job of that. Let's see if they can do the same. be a bit of fatigue starting to set in a little bit. That's a good run from dummy half there.
The Dragons are back to 12 men.
Byers now again. Is that Byers again? Ivani said you were a fan of Byers. Another good...
I think it's number 23, I think, if I'm not wrong. That might be...
And they're losing a few metres here, Nightcliff. They're going backwards, a bit of sloppy play. Crowley with the ball now, working back to the middle field, left foot step.
See the pacey guys are starting to see a bit of joy up the middle with a few gaps opening up. Bit of fatigue sitting in here.
Tessamiti with a big shot.
He's looking a bit ginger there.
Yeah, Tessamiti roughed him right up. It looks like he might be hurt there.
Yeah.
So Dragons look to go back to the middle. No, it's a double pump, and then they go out to Adrian Corrie, who goes another one out to the 3.
Saw some space out wide and just put it through the hands.
Gabbardi, a try out there on the left edge. Pretty simple. He's a good ball player, Adrian Corrie, and we see him come out to this left edge, a double show. Corrie with the ball now, pulls in the winger. And a bit of an easy try out there, winger coming in. I think they were a bit short of numbers. We talked about it in the first half about how they were getting some of their reads wrong and not adjusting defensively, counting heads. And as we pointed out, it's probably one of their weaknesses across the board, South. So Crowley now, trying to put a few more points on. Dragons 48, South 22. So he'll try and bring this to 50. I honestly think South have got a few more tries in them.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Why don't we talk about the Women's Nationals, Cal? Another successful tournament. Girls played really well. You had to play a bit of a different role this time around. You know, you're our head physio and responsible for taking care of the girls with their rehab and their injuries and injury prevention. But this year you wore a few hats. You ran messages. You drove the golf cart. You ran water. Yeah, you got any? What was your experience like? How did you enjoy the extra responsibilities this year?
Oh, it's just one of the things where, mate, you know, you're asked to step up, you step up.
I'm not sure if you were asked to step up, to be honest, Cal. I think you just stepped up, mate.
McGilvray stepped up, mate.
You did.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic tournament. The girls did very well as they had last year. Last year they went totally undefeated. This year they were obviously up in a more competitive pool. Did very well, really represented themselves and the territory well, and I think you could really tick it off as a successful campaign. Things in women's rugby in Darwin's looking very good in territory, and obviously there was a few notable absences in the team with some of our stars from last year not being able to make it, like Ivana, unfortunately.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it was fantastic, and I think all involved did a great job. Just to clarify, I didn't quite drive the golf cart, but, you know, as we see Trey Crowley quite lively down the right side.
Noticed you diverted away from the story with the golf cart there, Cow. But anyway, it looks like South are going to be let off the hook here, or what have they called? They've called a shepherd there, so South are going to get a penalty, I think. I think they've called that a shepherd. But, a bit sloppy around the ruck there, and we saw Crowley with a big left foot step and straighten up through the middle, just some sloppy one-on-one, some lazy retreats. We send Denzel, puts in a very good kick for the line, another AFL player, I think, in the off-season. We're lucky enough that our players get to play both sports. They're playing sports all year round, whether it's union or AFL in the off-season and league in the in-season. We've also got some soccer players, some hockey players, some basketballers.
South will be looking to really get a good punch up the middle here, just to try to stem a bit of that flow the Dragons have put on at the start of this half. They've definitely got some pretty big willing competitors through the middle there in Brenton Robinson and Dusty Briscoe and a few of the other lads. So, yeah, we're looking to really get the Get the roll on. Here comes Big Brenton now.
Strong carry from Brenton.
Very strong.
We've got a 2-on-1 strip there, so that should be... What have we got there? What's he called it? It's called a knock-on.
Yeah.
That's an interesting call. That's an interesting call. Do you think you think he's looking at it and thinking that he may have milked it, that he released the ball and let it go and allowed the player to take it? We'll see in the replay anyway. That looks to me like a shoulder charge, and we've already seen a penalty for that, but we see, I think that's Byers. No, not Byers. Yeah, Byers all over the ball, and he actually pulls it out. I would say that is from my point of view, I would say that's a strip and a penalty with 2 in the tackle. So, Dragons let off the hook there. Crowley at the back now. Some great feet.
Very good
from
feet.
the back rower. David Tabui on the right edge, a show. Straightens up, come back to centre field, looking to hook up with Crowley again. Crowley, a right-handed pass. Corrie drops it. Probably a little bit unorthodox, that right-handed offload. But anyway, some great passage of footy there from the Dragons. Really entertaining to watch. I think he's a pass out the back for himself. Regathers.
It's a great hairstyle.
Yeah. Byers now in the contact. A little bit of push and shove. It driven all the way from Catherine for this. You got to appreciate the Catherine guys that drive all this way. It's not easy. See another shoulder charge. I think we probably see a penalty in there somewhere. We keep seeing shoulder charges, but anyway, we'll carry on. He's brought down again. He could have used a little show, but he's lost possession. It's gone back. What's he going to call? The knock on. Some physical defence here from the Dragons. They're not taking them lightly. They are being physical. And like you said, Cal, it's all about attitude.
It certainly is, mate.
You steal that off Wayne Bennett, did you, that one?
Oh, it's just something I come up with.
Nice.
So we're getting down to the last 20 minutes, and this is obviously where you'd want to really dig deep. Dragons are obviously a very convincing lead here, but South will be looking to, maintain a bit of pride here. As we see Butcher float outside. Another penalty.
What do you think of that, Ivana? Do you think that was a penalty, or that looked like he threw a punch? And did you think he threw a punch?
I was actually just checking the score update for the Raiders and Sharks game, Dunk, so I missed that one.
I know you would. That's why I said that. And there was no punch thrown at all.
Oh, well, I think
Have you got a score update for us on the back of that?
I do. 6-4. Raiders are up. Quite a low-scoring game compared to this one. I'm a bit surprised about that, I think. Sharks and Raiders have been very high. Couple benchmark teams last year and the season before, and to see that low-scoring game just shows how even the playing fields are now for those two teams.
Corey with a long ball. Oh. Unlucky. I think he's going to go through here. The 2. Is he held up?
He's held
up. Yes. What's he going to call there? Stolen or held up? Might be just called held up, maybe. Or a try.
It's a clever cut-out pass there by A.D. Corrie.
It's called a feed to South, so maybe a knock on there.
Again, Dragons will be, not happy with the one that went missing there. Not a bad effort there by the young number 2, but just couldn't quite get there.
Unlucky now, South with the ball, 10 metres out. Looks like it's a winger in. Oh, unlucky. It's, catching chest on ball. You're always going to struggle to get an effective catch if you let it hit your chest. So they're back defending now. And I think they're really going to struggle to keep the Dragons out on this one. So we've got 20 to go. It's 50-22. Dragons now to the left edge off Corrie to the 12. He's strong. He'll go through, and he does it quite easily. An easy try for the Dragons. It's been basically their night and South have really struggled with the contact. What's your theory behind that going into your next training session, Ivana?
I think that their centres and their wingers and their second rowers link up quite well. They seem to be reading each other very well and supporting each other for those easy hands through for the tries. But that all again comes off, Adrian Corrie in the number 7 and Robbie Butcher in the number 6, and how well and composed they're keeping their team. And hopefully we can see a few more tries like that here, and for our sisters, hopefully we can do the same.
What was the score in the girls' game today? Do you know?
I think it was 56-6.
Who was your standout for the sisters?
I think Kira Kernoth coming back into the side and Bianca Stokes, they linked up on the left wing and centre quite well. Two very experienced players with Talia Corrie in the number 6. So that link up saw a fair load of tries take place. And then LaTonya Norris obviously at the back is a great support. Very trustworthy and a great finisher, super speed and a bit like Trey Crowley, I guess.
Who kicks another goal, bringing the score 56-22. Mentioning LaTonya Norris, there's some talk around town that she may be going for a trial with the North Queensland Cowboys or a training camp. Wouldn't
be surprised. She has been an amazing player her whole career, starting in under 15s, I believe she did. For the Sharks, and now she's made her way over to the Sisters and she's in a captaincy role, the captain of our NT women's team this year, and she is also played in the PNG Orchids at the Prime Minister's what's it called? Prime Minister's 13.
Prime Minister's 13, she did. Absolutely.
And she's a great role model. Great person to have around the club.
Yeah, she captained the women's side recently at the national champs, the NT girls, and led them very well. You can see Nightcliff attack the left side here. Pretty lively attack there.
Great link-ups.
Oh, wow.
Byers there on the end of that kick.
Some flary footy here by a few of the Nightcliff lads. Will he be strong enough? No, just short. Latham Shirley and we'll see what he's got. Clever by Corrie. Well done.
I think they've just about given up there, South. It doesn't get much easier than that.
No.
And as you said, defence is an attitude, and I think the attitude with that one was pretty ordinary. They really have shown some great glimpses of effort, but just a bad read, no drop off, a poor one-on-one. And
with their Corrie experience, you'll see him just playing eyes up footy, saw the gaps opened up, which I'd imagine they would have a bit more from here on in, and he's just put them to the sword, so to speak. As we see the score go out to 60-22, Nightcliff Dragons way with a kick to come.
He must be up for a few points today, Crowley. I think has he scored any tries? He's kicked.
Yeah, one in the first half, I believe, Tom.
I think he's kicked just about every goal. I think he might have only missed 2. Kicked very well.
Just looking at the full-time score for the women's Raiders and Sharks game played today out at Goodline. Raiders 16, Sharks 14. Very interesting, that.
That's a good outcome, isn't it, for the Women's League? You just see a close scoreline like that. We don't want them to all be blowout scores, so that's good.
Yeah.
And conversion successful.
Obviously, the Raiders women were the runners-up last year.
They were very unlucky.
It was a very good grand final. I thought that was one of the grand finals of the night, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. I think they were all really good grand finals.
Yeah, fantastic.
I thought that was a really good one. They probably delivered more than some expected, to be honest, the Raiders girls.
Definitely fought hard to the end, as we saw. Looking forward to watching our girls take them on this season, seeing if they have any new faces. Victoria Ali, obviously, a great player for them.
She is. She was a dominant force in our women's team. Played very well. Solid defence here from South. A really good one-on-one contact. Let's see if they can back that up with another. The Corrie now. An unders. A high shot. I think there's going to be a penalty for that high shot. It's just a little bit ill-disciplined.
It's going to try to not let that sort of gear sneak in, mate, this time of the game. But unfortunately it does.
When you're 40 points behind, I suppose the whole care factor starts to dwindle a little bit, and you're just looking to get through it and have a shower and a cold beer and go home. Where the Dragons, I'm sure they'll be looking to strengthen their game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Shawnee Warhope put his hand up for the first hit up now.
It's 12 strong carriages. He's carried the ball very strong tonight.
Yeah, it's very direct and he's done well. He moves well.
Shirley at dummy half. Corrie. This brought down, almost brought down. No, he still carries 2. Eventually comes down 10 metres out.
See what Shirley's got here. Where's he going to go to this?
He's a mile.
Why not?
I don't think he could be any more offside that the 10, but takes him on and scores a pretty easy try. As I said before, I think South are just about giving up.
A very good effort there, Shirley, out of dummy half.
How do you recap this at the end of the game, Ivana? If you're going to sit down with your players and talk about, if you're going to talk about any positives that you can pull out of this, what would you be focusing on?
I think that the Nightcliff Dragons, they just look so comfortable working together. It's so great to watch. They look calm, they look composed. They're playing eyes-up footy, they're counting numbers. They're in great form at the moment, so I'll be interested to see how their next game goes. Whereas South's, their body language is a bit off. I think that's something that they need to work on a bit. You know, even when you're down, you shouldn't be portraying that type of body language. They just need to get around each other a bit more, and I think we see that when they get bodies over the line, but they haven't done that in a couple of minutes, so hopefully they get one back just to get their spirits up so they can continue fighting.
Yeah, well said.
Was that successful by Crowley?
It was another one successful by Crowley. Brings the score Dragons 68 and the Rabbits 22. And there's showing a little bit of enthusiasm there from the Rabbits, so they're running up to the halfway line, which they actually didn't do in the first half at times, but they have now, even though they're a few points behind, and it's not the kick that they wanted. So there'll be a penalty here for the Dragons, and they'll have to go and reload and get ready to defend. Butcher could probably kick this out and make a few extra metres.
Obviously down on troops, the Rabbitohs, with a few of their lads going off. Not to return tonight. I think they're down to about 12 men. Or?
I think I counted 11 then.
11, okay.
Yeah. Losing Lump, Kieran Crowe was a big loss. I'm sure that he's a big presence out there with his communication and his encouragement. So, yeah, it's a tough one for the Bunnies at the moment. Dragons now, 15 metres out. Long pass from Shirley to Corrie.
And then Shawnee Warhope, easy.
And back to Byers, and he scores in the edge. I think the best thing South can do, it slows this game down as possible and try and draw out this time. And there are 11 players on. They're down by 50 points. I think there's nothing left to gain but to get through and start preparing for the next week. If you had to focus on 3 things for training next week, Ivana, what would you focus on with the Bunnies?
That's a good question. maybe line speed, definitely. They seem to lack it a bit. They're doing some great hits and some great slowing down the play of the ball, but their line speed is just not there, so that's definitely one. Number two, I think making their forwards punch a bit more. We see it a little bit, but probably not as much as I'd like to, especially when we have those carriers like the number 20 and the likes of. They've been doing some great ball carrying. And then maybe just also their kicking game. I don't think they've completed many of their sets, have they, Dunk?
No, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think they've got the end of many sets. I think they haven't had they've had very little possession in their second half. I'd like to know what percentage of possession they've had in the second half, but they haven't had an opportunity to really get to an end of a set and test out a kick chase. Obviously, defence has been the big issue for them the whole game. They did have a couple of sets there early on in the second half where they muscled up and they put some pressure on and actually came up with a mistake, I think. And we see Crowley eventually miss one, booed by the crowd because he's been kicking so well, I guess, and then he finally lets one slip. So he's had a great game, Crowley.
Unfortunately, some information that just came to hand. The game between Raiders and Sharks at Palmerston has been held up. Ambulance is on the field for a Sharks player. Not sure who, but yeah, let's hope everything's all right.
Yeah,
it's always a shame to see anything like that.
It is, yeah. It is a shame to hear that when someone gets injured, because obviously that affects your personal life and your working life and family life, so hopefully it's not too bad. Denzel now, not quite the kick that he would like, but Dragons bring it back centre field. And we see a penalty here for a high shot. I thought they might have picked that up.
Plenty of penalties in this game, especially in this second half.
Yeah, they've been a little bit ill-disciplined, the Bunnies, and I think it's a combination of fatigue and a bit of frustration with being so far behind on the scoreboard, making mistakes, having to back up defensively. We'll see another strong carry from 12 here. He's got a really strong carry, a right foot step. Nearly went over the sideline. Byers now with it. He's been shifting between wing and hooker. Nathan Shirley comes in and slots in at hooker and then pushes him out. Corey now, slightly forward. No, he's okay. We got a penalty, and we got another penalty here, Ivana, and we're calling that a shoulder charge, I think.
Yes, might be one of the only ones called tonight, Dunk.
Certainly a few missed, eh? Yeah. But that was Thomas Donovan, the number 18 for Nightcliff. He's been pretty lively through the middle. As we see Butcher get him forward a bit more with a kick. And we'll see what they got. But I think it'll be pretty tough here for South, defending on the line with 11 blokes. But again, McGilvrat's attitude.
There it is. There's that Wayne Bennett quote that Cal likes to use.
I read it somewhere.
Yeah, they're going long. We've got a drop ball there. A big shot there off the ball from the 11. And a strong carry. He might go the whole way here.
Look at him go.
He's got some good chases. There's some speed out there from the Dragons, and they wrap him up. That's a good carry. South can now get on the back of this. They've shown they can score points from here. So let's see what they do. They hit up to centre field. Aiden Hill. Cyrus play the ball to the 6 now. A left foot step. Picks up a Dragons player. Robbie Butcher. So Butcher's 40 metres out. They've got the possession back again. It's getting a bit down. No, we've got a call here. What have we got? We've got an injury, or we've got a forward pass. We've got a forward pass here from the Dragons. So South's finally getting an opportunity to get some possession. Let's see if they can put some points on the board or even get a completed set.
A lot of early turnover in the sets. I'm sure that'll be something Richard Hill will address at training on Tuesday.
Yeah. Again, it's another one of those attitude things, possession, your selection of pass and when you pass, and ball security into contact. That's a good carry there from South. He's looking for a high shot, and it is from Tabsy. Tabsy's had a pretty solid, disciplined game tonight. He's been an ever-present for them. I think he sort of back off a little bit when he saw that they were going to do it relatively easy. But I know that as the year gets on, you'll see a lot more of Tabs. So we're waiting for the. There's no ball boy on that other side of the field. So the South players having to go over and get the ball.
3.5 minutes left. Hopefully we can see Souths get over for one more try.
It would be good to see Souths get another try, just to put a smile on the face of those who've come to watch.
Maybe you see big Brenton Robertson have a crack here.
He's played strong, Brenton Robertson. He's had a couple of really good carries. Yeah. Pass out the back. Here goes the 20 again. He's going to be over for sure.
Very hard to stop from that far out.
Very hard to stop from that far out. He scored a couple. I think that's his second, is it, for the night?
Yep.
He's lethal from a metre out.
Is. It's good to see him back on the field, having suffered some serious injuries off the field. Off and on the field, I should say. So, yeah. He's been a great contributor to South last year as well.
Can you elaborate more on that, Cow? What sort of bad lucks he had with his injuries?
Look, I don't know the details particularly, but I believe he was involved in quite a big car accident off the field last year, where it was very serious. A very lengthy recovery there, and again, that's Brenton's personal information. I don't know the details, but yeah. It's fantastic to see him back out there playing, because I know he does love the game. He puts a lot into juniors. His sons are very prominent through different clubs, and I think he just really loves it.
And Denzel Morris puts it over, puts another 2 points on the board. So we see Dragons 72 and Souths 28 now. There's been a couple of injuries during the game. I think there's a couple of concussions from South, and obviously they're down to, I think they're still down to 11, are they? No, they're back up to 13.
The next game, Brothers versus Litchfield. What's your take on that, Cal?
Well, look, both teams coming off good first-round wins. I think they're going to obviously be two teams that will feature very prominently at the business end of the season. I was impressed to see how Reg Rose had the Bears running last week. They looked probably the most polished and probably the fittest team of the competition from what I saw. They've obviously had a good pre-season. But I think I think there's never writing off Brothers. They'll always turn up to play. So I reckon you'll probably see a match of the round next round or next game, and that'll be fantastic.
Nightcliff now with possession again. Butcher taking that kick selection. I reckon he might stick with that one for a while in a few games. It seems to be paying off for him. So Shirley out from dummy half. Butcher with the ball again. Turns a player under their midfield. He's brought down. I think that's tackle 3. 35 out. No, 25 out. 15 out. Shirley. Corey now again, look for the long ball. No, turns it back under. He pushes off a few, but he's brought down. 11 out. Buys a dummy half. Oh, a quick jump out there from the marker, and he's brought down 2 metres out. This might be a penalty here, I think. This will definitely be a penalty, but I don't think it matters because that's the siren, and that's the end of the game. And we see on the DABSCO scoreboard, Dragons 72, South 28. A high-scoring game. Both teams with something to take away. I'm sure the Dragons will be relatively happy with their performance. I would say to leak 28 points in a game, though, still says that there could possibly be a few defensive issues, but nothing they can't sort out. But again, it's only round 2, so both teams can be happy. Ivana, what's your synopsis?
No, very interesting game that one was. I think I'm not too sure. I think, just super high scoring. A bit of a shock for me. I didn't think it would go that high, but like I said throughout the broadcast, excited to see how both teams track going into the next few rounds and where they will turn up at the end of the season.
Thank you. And Cal, you've got a bit of a roundup on that?
Oh, look, it would always be nice to be able to rack up a 72-point scoreline, but I think Coach Sam Irwin will have a fair bit of work to do with the boys. They'll be identifying a fair bit to work on in attack and defence. But yeah, South, I think, they definitely probably will have to really get to training, try to get the numbers there for one, and just really start to sharpen things up a bit under new coach Richard Hill. It's obviously a very big assignment to come into a new club, new players. But yeah, I can see them having a good season, mate. Absolutely,
I'd agree with you, mate. Richard's taken on a really big challenge and seems to be doing okay. They've got 2 teams on the field, reserve grade and A grade. Look, they competed in parts of that game, and I think that's at this stage that's all he can ask for, with possibly limited troops to pick from each week. But thank you for joining me. I know it's your first time, and I hope that you join me again. And I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.